You must be tired because it's so early in the morning. That's gotta be it. Jeffrey, I have a question for you.
Shoot.
Can you see me? Ghost. I wore white so that I would blend in and then you couldn't see me. I would disappear because it's spooky season.
Good joke.
I'm sick, so my voice goes deeper, and it's perfect for spooky season, Jeffrey. Anyways,
I'm gonna hit them high notes.
I'm gonna hit the lows. I'm gonna pop some bags. What's this?
Only got $20 in my pocket.
Ha-na-na-na-na. Ha-na-na-na-na. This is effing awesome. Ready?
Yep.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Foster the Monster. Hello everyone and welcome back to Foster the Meeple, a channel all about
board games
and
monsters.
Monsters. Today's another episode of Board Games and Boo. Board Games and Boo. Get it? Because it's spooky season. This is going to be too hot. You're going to bring your child.
Oh, it's delicious.
Yeah, I think this is what my throat needs. It's nice. Orange for pumpkins. Anyways, we are here today, my friends, to do another recommendations video for you. We're just like crushing these reco videos.
Yeah.
I just, obviously I'm sick. I just need to say it. My voice doesn't
Is
usually
it obvious?
sound like this.
Does
right?
it?
I have been sick thrice now in the last like 6 months.
You have been.
And I never get sick, do I? And
No.
not only that, this is like the sickest, every time is like the sickest I've ever been.
Yeah, usually I am the sick one. Yeah, usually I'm sick.
I don't know if it's COVID. The tests say no. My heart says yes. So who's to say? We're here to do a recommendation video on spooky season board games, right?
And
And
we decided to make some recommendations about games that we don't necessarily talk about a ton on the channel.
We will start off with a couple honorable mentions of games that to us are obvious, but to you they may not be, and then we'll get into our list.
Yeah, and games that we talk about quite frequently.
Yeah.
But you might be a new viewer.
You might be. Who knows?
So we don't want to leave these bad boys out because they are important.
Gotta expand the horizons for everyone. So we've got 10 games to talk about, some honorable mentions, and the vibes are spooky. Spooky. Oh my god, don't do that. I didn't like it. I don't like it.
Still got it.
Chrissy, wake up. I don't like it. Okay, but before we get started, I have to show you the scariest game of all.
Don't drink.
Yeah, it can stay that way.
I just bought this. Now that we are moved and we have this is completely off topic.
Yep.
Now that we have a board game group, I was going to buy Agricola because I can play Agricola with others that don't hate on it like Jamie does. Look at this beauty.
Terrifying.
Masterpiece.
Spooky. Look at that ghost. I was trying to think, what's a ghostly name for a sheep? A boo. B-E-W-E. A boo. Boo.
I don't get it.
Boo. E-W-E is an ew. A U, which is a female sheep. So it's a boo. Anyways, Jeff, let's just get into this video. You're being so ridiculous. Let's start off with a couple honorable mentions. Games that we talk about all the time, games that we love, but we just wanted to bring up. Number one, Mansions of Madness.
Yep.
You can't have a spooky season without Cthulhu, which then leads us to our second one, which is Cthulhu Death May Die.
Correct.
Now, we love these games. I love Mansions of Madness. It's one of my favorite games of all time. It's one of Jeff's favorites. But I think, do you like Cthulhu better?
No, I think I like, just quickly, I like Mansions of Madness better because I do think it's more immersive. It's really hard to compare them because they're very, I think, different. Cthulhu Death May Die is really cool because you're just like getting more and more powerful and just like trucking all of these dice and dealing huge damage to these big bosses. Mansions of Madness is super thematic and immersive.
We recommend them both. Some other recommendations that we talk about often. Final Girl, which is an amazing solo experience. I would also throw out Ghost Stories, which we did a playthrough on last spooky season, so I'll link that below if you're interested in looking at it. And Horrified, that's another one.
That's Final Girl for like solo gamers.
Yep.
Ghost Stories if you really like co-op games.
If you like to lose,
and
you should
if you
play
like to lose, it
Ghost
is very
Stories.
difficult.
Yeah, and then there's a bunch of others, but let's get into our actual list after these brief coughs.
Brought to you by the letter cough.
Now, these recommendations are in no particular order.
They are not.
Because we don't like to put things in a list in an order because we would literally never agree when it's a combined list.
Yeah, okay, fair.
Okay, so we can't. It's a combined
I was going to say, we list things all the time.
That's true. Number 1, worst games of all time, Agricola. Number 2, Agricola Big and Small. Number 3, Agricola Big Box.
You're an idiot.
The first game that we are going to recommend for spooky season is a little game called Fearsome Floors. And this is a Freed and Freeze game that we had the opportunity to play at, did we play at Dice Tower West or PAX Unplugged? We played at Dice Tower West. We played this at Dice Tower West with our friend Daryl Andrews, the creator of Sagrada, Erica, and others. But the point is, we had a great time.
It was super fun.
So Fearsome Floors is essentially you're kind of like trapped in this like factory or warehouse, or it's just
it's almost like a arena.
It's a floor.
Yeah.
And you are being chased by this weird, gross monster thing. And they are moving, and if you cross paths or if they see you, you die, basically. I died very quickly in this game.
Yeah, so you're trying to get from point A to point B, and there's some pillars and stuff in this area.
Yeah.
And the monster is going to move in a very, like, sequential pattern. So it'll kind of, like, hit a wall and turn, and then it'll go straight forward. And then, but it can go through the walls until it runs into a player and all of these things, and you have certain chips that allow you to move certain distances and stuff. It's very puzzly, and you kind of have to predict where the monster's going to go, but you can't. You can't.
Always.
It's very, very good. I'm so glad that Daryl introduced us to it because I had a ton of fun with it.
It's really weird, and I like weird. I like weird, creepy things, and this is definitely that. The second game on our list, Jeffrey, is...
Castle Party.
Castle
Party. Do you know who you sound like?
Marge?
No, Selma.
Her sister.
Her sisters.
Marge. Selma and Louise.
Selma and Louise.
No, wait. Selma and Louise.
No, no, isn't it?
Selma and Thelma.
I don't know. This is crazy.
I don't know either. This is like...
We gotta look it up.
Okay, look it up. This is like The Simpsons Horror Nights. What's that called? Oh, boy. I don't know. I have an excuse. I'm sick. My brain is foggy.
Marge sisters.
It's Thelma.
Treehouse of Horrors.
Treehouse of Horrors. It's Thelma.
Patty. Patty and Selma. Patta and Selma.
Selma and Thelma.
Selma and Louise. We're getting it confused, I think, with the robbers.
That's Thelma and Louise.
Thelma and Louise.
Oh my god. Okay.
Patty and Selma. Treehouse of Horrors.
Yeah. Just FYI, because you guys were confused.
Woo! We got through it, team.
Okay, Castle Party from DeVere Games, and this is a flip and write game where you are going to a monster ball, and all of your guests are going to be Frankensteins and ghosts and skeletons and vampires and witches. In this game, you are going to be flipping cards that are shapes. And you're going to have a hand of party guests. Whoever flips the card gets to put that card in a certain orientation, which you then draw on your board based on the type of monsters that you put out in that pattern. So you have to draw it out in whichever way the main player is laying it out.
The card,
Yeah. So you could easily screw somebody over.
Like Tetris type.
Exactly. It's like Tetris type pieces. And then there's different like events that happen. If there's a fireworks show, you want more monsters next to the window. If the Pumpkin King shows up to the party, he wants to meet as many different kinds of guests as he can. So you have to have different monsters around him. So this game is adorable with the spooky theme.
I really liked it.
And it's so much fun.
It's very good.
Yeah. Game number 3 on our list is a trick-taking game called Claim. So Claim is a 2-player trick-taking game where you have a hand of different kind of monsters. So the game plays in 2 phases. And in the first phase, you are building out your hand. So you start with the hand, and then there's cards that are coming out from the deck, and you are trying to collect different cards as you win the trick. So the reason why you want to win tricks and win different monsters is because in the second phase, you are trying to have the largest group of at least 3 monsters. So whoever has like, I think it's 5 different kinds of monsters. If you have the majority of the largest groups of all the monsters, then you win the game. Definitely a creepy theme. There's a ton of expansions on this one. So Jeff and I only played this one. Actually, we played this like 2 or 3 times in a row.
Yep.
And I also played it with Ilya when we were visiting our friends from Copyright, who you should go subscribe to. And I've wanted this game for forever because I first heard about it from Billy and Michelle when I visited them last year, Second Star to Left. You should also go subscribe to them. And I saw the artwork, and I'm pretty sure it's the Miko who does like Merchant's Cove and everything like that, which immediately made me want it. And then I saw it and I bought it plus an expansion. So the next one that we have on our list is a game about vampires. So you know I'm here for it. And that game is called The Hunger.
So The Hunger is I don't know what the mechanic is.
Clank.
But it's that, it's Clank. So in The Hunger, you're deck building and collecting, I guess, kind of like other monsters, but also like villagers in order to feed off of and that sort of thing. And it's very much like Clank, wherein you are progressing as far along a track, essentially, as you can in order to score victory points. The further you go, the more lucrative it is for you. But you need to get back to the castle before daylight hits. And just like in Clank, if you don't get back, you basically just lose straight up.
Die. The sun comes up.
The sun comes up and you die. It's very much the similar deck building. How far can I go? How much push can I do before I start making my way back? I think none of us got all the way back to the castle when we played it. I feel like you died.
I died.
It's very much about eating villagers and feeding off villagers and being a vampire. All right, next up on the list is a game called Night Cage.
The Night Cage.
Night Cage is from Smirk and Dagger. And it is a tile... Reveal? Tile... Exploration? Essentially, in Night Cage, you are in a maze, and this maze has monsters, it has pits, it has all the things that want to kill you. The theme is you are in this maze and you have a candle, and that candle allows you to reveal tiles that are around you kind of one at a time.
Yeah, like basically. You can only see where your candle
around
lights.
You. Whatever is adjacent to you, you can see.
Thematically, yeah.
However, if your candle goes out, you can only see where you step.
Yeesh.
So you step, and it's revealed, that's all you can see. Don't want to get to that situation. The main objective is to get a key, each player to get a key, and get to a gate to escape the maze.
Get the heck out of there.
So if you've played games like Subterra, very much like that.
Yeah.
It's very, very thematic and very spooky. I think we're going to play it...
With the dark, in the dark.
In the dark.
And with the dark.
With candlelight and a bit of a spooky...
There's like a creepy playlist that you can get.
I really enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to playing it immersively with the...
More people, too. The next game on our list is Campy Creatures. And this is from Keymaster Games. And this is a game that I love. If you love the classic monster thriller horror tropes in like old 80s and beyond and, you know, older
in
80s.
Old 80s and beyond.
If you love the 80s and beyond, this game is for you. So essentially, each person has the same hand of cards of different monsters. Now, each monster has a value, and then they have like a special ability that they can do. So at the same time, you reveal the monsters that you're playing, and you are bidding on a card that is a type of person or a type of victim. So there's like engineers, teenagers, assistants, and like all of these different things. And each of those have different scoring mechanisms. So let's say you have one engineer. Well, if you have an odd number of engineers, then maybe you score negative points. But if you have an even number, then you score positive points. Where the deduction comes in is I know what Jeff has in his hand, but I need to remember what cards he's played. And he needs to think about what cards I play.
Yeah, because there's like cards that will like play off of each other. Whereas like if I play one, again, I can't remember the names of the cards, but there's like a card where if I play it and Jamie plays a specific card, it like I ought to win kind of deal. So
this is a great game if you have a large group of people. However, we played it at 2 players and we had a ton of fun.
I really, really liked Campy Creatures.
I loved this game. And then the next one on our list is a game called Awkward Guess, which in and of itself is not really a scary game.
No.
But it is about murder.
Yeah. And it's very good, so we wanted to include it on this list.
Especially if you're like, oh, I want to play something on my game group. They're not really into like creepy things like Cthulhu and
maybe
and
a little bit less.
So this is like a murder
creepy.
Mystery. So this is still very on brand for Halloween people.
Yeah. Awkward Guests is a more advanced adult version of Clue.
Yep.
You are going to be passing around clues essentially around the group in order to deduce who killed someone in what room, with what weapon, what path they took to get.
If they had an accomplice.
If there was an accomplice. So it's way more in depth than Clue, but similar mechanic wherein you're just trying to determine a set of parameters of how someone was killed in this household. And you are interacting with everyone around the table. You have to pay attention to what you're doing and what you're trying to figure out. But also, I could go to I almost said Max. I could go to Jamie.
We played it with Max.
Yeah, we played it with Max over a table. And I'll also go check them out. I could go to like Max or Jamie and be like,
I want to know more about
this person. But maybe I just did that 2 rounds ago with Max or Jamie. And they're like, gotcha, because they'll give the same card back to me because they don't want me to have new information.
Next one on our list is a small box game that is very inconspicuous. It is called Return to Dark Tower. First of all, I've never been to Dark Tower to begin with, but we returned.
We turned to it. Return to Dark Tower is a very expansive cooperative.
I thought you were going to say expensive, and I was like, kind of.
Also expensive. Cooperative scenario-based. There's an app element, so I should keep that in mind. The tower is very interactive and involved in the game. It takes batteries, it lights up,
out at you.
It spits out things, skulls at you, and ultimately you are trying to achieve objectives based on whatever scenario you pick.
Yeah.
So similar to Mansions of Madness where everyone has an objective and there's certain parameters in order to get to that objective in order to achieve victory. You're fighting baddies, there's territories, you're collecting resources, you're building up defenses, all of these things ultimately to trigger kind of endgame boss battle-y type. We've only played one scenario with a friend, Rodney. It was very, very cool. I'm looking forward to playing it more.
The next game on our list is based off of a movie that I'm pretty sure, it is.
It's not based off of it.
Okay. It's a game that's not based off of the Alien franchise.
It's not.
But it is. That game is Nemesis. Now, this is a game that I almost won once, but I was duped. What's the word I'm looking for? Not duped.
Yeah.
I was duped.
Jason duped you.
Jason duped me. We have an entire play of this on one of our board game weekend videos, but basically this is, you are on a spaceship, you are surrounded by aliens, not at all like the movie Alien, kind of like it though, and you are trying to get the heck out of there. But some people are trying to betray you.
In Nemesis, everyone has a secret objective, which could be a betrayal piece. It could be, get into an escape pod and get out, or it could be to get the ship back to Earth. It could be to all of these things.
Protect somebody or kill somebody.
Yeah, I mean, it's a crazy amount of variability in terms of what the end objectives are for each player. And you're trying to kind of sneakily do that objective without alerting everyone to what you're trying to do. There's aliens, there's broken ship parts that you need to fix. It's insane. It's so good.
And then the last game, number 10 on our list, is a game called Jekyll versus Hyde. Have you heard of them?
Another trick-taking game.
Mr. Hyde. This is another trick-taking game. This is like a tug-of-war trick-taking game.
Basically, in Dr. Jekyll versus Mr. Hyde, which one is the bad one? Hyde.
He's not a doctor.
Whoever is playing as Hyde wants to turn Dr. Jekyll into Mr. Hyde.
Yep.
Essentially. And how he does that is by losing or winning more tricks. Mr. Hyde wants to will move the track towards himself based off of the difference of tricks. So let's just say I was playing as Mr. Hyde and Jamie was playing as Dr. Jekyll.
PhD.
I won 4 tricks and Jamie won 8 tricks. I'm actually going to move the track 4 towards me because that's the difference.
Yeah,
Dr. Jekyll wants to keep it even.
He wants balance.
He wants balance. He wants to remain calm. He doesn't want to turn.
He doesn't want to
into
become
Mr.
the Hulk.
Hyde. There's some really cool mechanics in terms of how the tricks are trump suited. So it changes throughout the game. So like there's red, green, and purple tricks. Yeah. The trump suit can change as the game goes on. It's really cool. Highly recommend it.
And those are 10 spooky game recommendations.
I'm just going to throw this out. That's a really good list.
That's a freaking
I'm actually really impressed with you.
I almost got through the whole thing, too, without having a coughing fit. I didn't, though.
Jamie put the majority of this list together, and I'm actually super impressed because there's some really banger games on here.
Thank you, I know. So we would love to know down below what some of your favorite spooky season games are, because we are always looking to add more to our list. We also have a ton of new spooky games that we haven't had a chance to play yet, but we have lots of the month left, so I'm very, very excited for that. If you're interested in buying games, like any of the many that we mentioned today, you should first start by checking your friendly local gaming store. And for us, that is...
Boardroom Game Cafe.
They're having an entire spooky month. Spooktober, they're calling it. So if you are in the Halifax area or you're planning on visiting it, you should stop in because they got a lot of really fun stuff going on.
Yeah.
But that is all that we have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. If you like what you see,
please subscribe.
We hope to see you again soon. And now we say goodbye. Goodbye.
Later days.
Stay spooky. Foster the Meeple. Foster the... Hello, everyone. I'm going to lose my voice for sure. Why are you laughing?
Nothing. We really, really enjoy Clank.
Yeah, we do. All the talking makes it worse.
All right, Jamie, we survived.
We did it. Almost died, but we did it.